Hello, welcome back to TV Talk. Amy, I am so privileged to coming back on 2024 after a very 2 year, I guess, break. My first guest for this year is the one and only Janet, Miss Janet Napales. She's very established. She's a Filipino American. She's an award-winning journalist, the first Filipino voting member and associate of the Golden Globes. We will be talking about that later on, Miss Janet, aren't we? And welcome to TV Talk, Amy. Thank you so much. How are you doing?
Hi, Amy. Thank you very much for having me in your show. I'm looking forward to talking to you today. I'm so excited. I'm your buena mano for the new year.
Oh, that's the right term. Guatemala. I was like, okay, there's such a word for it. And you are, let us roll back a little. You were born in the Philippines. You were in the GMA news. For those of us who grew up in Manila, I did. I'm a Jessica Soho fan, so I know if you've been born in the Philippines, you were either ABS-CBN or GMA 7 or Kuya Gerbs or what, Itbulaga, something like that. But you are a product of the GMA family. Am I correct?
Yes, I started in the Philippines as a journalist, and I actually started Manila Bulletin, and currently I'm in GMA 7. Like I send all my stories to GMA, but I'm a graduate of journalism at the University of Santo Tomas. I grew up in Quezon City. I went to public schools in the Philippines, and I just love being in journalism because I could interview a lot of people, meet other people, and I travel a lot. I go to a lot of film festivals: Cannes, Venice, Toronto, Sundance, even the Philippine Film Festival. So it's really broadening your horizon, meeting people and telling their stories, especially Filipinos in the industry. I love doing that and highlighting and spotlighting them in Hollywood. So, and just like you, I love also telling their stories.
Yeah, that's true. And I think there's this need for us to tell a story because it shares, and then at the same time it's an inspiration to a lot of people that hey, it's possible to get from that, from point A to point B. You just have to work hard and not be
Yes,
afraid to work.
yes. A lot of the Filipinos that I interviewed, most of the time, you know how the culture is, they want children to go to be doctors, to be lawyers, to be accountants, anything but an actor or a singer or a journalist. Even my father didn't want me to become a journalist. He said, oh, there's a lot of dirty old men in the industry, you cannot survive being a woman. And I said, Dad, you raised me, you have to believe in me and what how you raised me. And I was able to prove to him that I'm still here after several years as a journalist. And so it's interesting that most of the actors or singers that I interviewed, they had went first become an architect or an accountant or even an engineer, and then they fulfilled their own passion. So I would really suggest, like, people to let their children follow their dreams, follow their passions, and not stop them from what they're doing. Because by the end of the trip or the journey, they will still pursue what they really love to do.
I completely agree with that. I mean, it's so funny that you talk about, the word passion, but because like when I was starting in Manila too, my first major was mass communications. And my mom would say, like, oh, there's no money in there. I don't think you're going to get, I mean, that's your common thing. I love my mom, but I think it's that lack of information that we are just used as Filipinos from our generation, that it's a 9 to 5 job. So, and then, so like any other daughter, okay, mom, I ended up doing marketing. No regrets about that. But still, here I am. Like, I have my day job, but I still do my TV talk. Amy, I've been doing it since 2004 because I love it. And it's like, it's something that I think not just about me, it's more of like sharing, and like what we spoke earlier, it's an inspiration to a lot of people that it shouldn't stop you from dreaming. And and at the end of the day, it's going to be your life.
Hmm.
I told that my kid. So
Yeah.
Miss Janet, um how other than like uh going through like the educational process of going to UST and then pursuing the journalism, how tough was that? And during that generation, being a woman, trying to get into that writing and the journalism field.
Yeah, it's really tough, especially in the Philippines, because when I came in, I was just one of several people there, the only woman in the editorial board,
Mhm.
and most of them were men older than me, and most of them established. So when we have to go out, we usually have like all men and just one girl. So you
Yes,
really have to ground yourself and be focused on what your work is and let them know where you stand, that I respect you as an editor, so you should also respect me as your journalist reporter. So I think I was able to handle myself very, very well. And I'm proud of
obviously.
that. After all these years, and I'm still here in the business, and I love what I'm doing. But every woman should try to do what they really love to do. There is no stopping any woman from dreaming their passions and fulfilling their dreams.
How did you transition from the Philippines to the US? How
Oh,
did
it
that
was
happen?
I because of love. I followed Ruben, my husband. He was petitioned to migrate to the US, and I followed him, and we put up a family here, and we were happy to be raising a family here in the United States, but it was more following Ruben.
That's okay. That's a love story. That's something you can write about.
Yes.
It's like
And yeah, it
that,
was also difficult when you start here in the US because I'm already like kind of well known in the Philippines when I migrated, and Ruben too was already well known. But when you come to the United States, you're an unknown. You have to start from the scratch. You have to build your resume, and nobody wants to give you a break because you don't have any background. How will
that's
you
right.
start when you don't have anywhere to start and nobody wants to give you a break? So it was really hard, and sometimes we thought that we made the wrong decision, but in the end, everything fell into place by the God's will, that He helped us, and everything now is okay. Ruben became the first HPA member from the Philippines. I followed him and became the first Filipina of the Hollywood Foreign Press of the Golden Globes. So we somehow started it in Hollywood, putting up the Philippine flag in Hollywood,
Yes, you
and
anchored it.
supporting all the Filipinos here in the United States.
Now, do you think you being there, you and your husband being part of it, does that open gates for, I guess, open the doors for Filipinos to come in, or just I guess like you give them a foot forward for that, but then they still have to do the hard work.
Yeah, yeah, you still have to do the artwork. Now we have like three other Filipinos in the association, and also we were able to present to them other Filipino American talents who were not recognized before. For this year, we had a lot of Filipino films that
Mhm.
are included in the Golden Globes. We had four, and which is really a lot. Before there was even sometimes the Philippines doesn't have an entry to the Golden Globes, and later on, more and more Philippine movies are getting in. So we're proud of that. Even Dolly De Leon became the first Filipina to be nominated in the Golden Globes. Darren Criss is the first Phil Am who won in the Golden Globes. So we're breaking in. We're getting there.
Getting there, like one award at a time. That's what I
Yeah.
usually say. How is it important? Because I have seen in your I read your bio. You were a founding member, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. Of the Soho International Film Festival. I think it's the independent film, and if I'm not mistaken, that is run by Sibo Santiago.
I'm not a founding member. I correct
Okay,
you. I'm a founding member of the Manila International Film Festival.
you
I'm
are
a
part of board
I'm a
member.
board member of the So
That's right.
International. I'm a board member of the Asian World Film Festival. Those two, and I'm also on a founding member of the Manila International Film Festival.
with Soho. Soho is obviously based in New York. I spoke with
Yeah,
Civil a couple of years
yeah,
ago, and if Civil, I usually say has a famous mom, one of
yes.
my famous actress, and that's Lori Villanueva. So how does uh, how does this international independent film kind of like play a part in putting the Filipino, I guess, the Filipino movie industry out there?
Like, how does the film festivals help the
Yes,
Philippine
yes. So yeah.
films? Yeah. Exposure is very important, especially also for our Philippine directors to be able to
Mhm.
join these kinds of festivals is really good experience for all of them. Even other festivals like Cannes or Toronto, I encourage all the filmmakers, to make films also to be showcased in other film festivals because they will get a feel of what kind of movies are being shown out there and what kind of movies are winning. So for me it's always story, story, story based on my experience. And having this kinds of festival, I would encourage all of them to participate and experience how it is really done and how to be competitive enough to with the other countries.
What do you think should, because we're Filipinos and we are, how would you say this? We're into the cheesy love story, love theme kind of like culture. How do you think, or what do you think a Filipino filmmakers should do to be able to seriously break out in the industry, in the Hollywood industry? I know Joko. I watched Joko's um, that Easter Sunday. I think it was hilarious, but I think we are so grounded in the family kind of like story. How do you think, other than a family theme culture kind of movie, what else should a Filipino filmmaker do?
Actually, it's really based on story, very important stories. Right now in Manila International Film Festival, we have different kinds of stories, like Gombursa, telling the stories of the priests. Farfly, telling a story about, the family in Bicol or something. So we are now going to different kinds of stories and developing it. It's not always about what we call the poverty porn or
Yeah,
the macho dancers. We have
right.
outgrown these kinds of movies already, and we are now branching into much, much deeper themes. Like About Us, but Not About Us is a movie that's just telling about two people and their relationship, a professor and a student, but it goes deeper than that. So I've seen a lot of the new films this year, and I'm really encouraged that the Filipino filmmakers are already branching out and getting away from the usual themes. But as long as it's very good storyline, you concentrate on the storyline, we would really get a chance. First storyline, then second the acting, and then the third is the whole package.
Do you have? I know you've talked about so many times, not just online, but I've seen you very active on social media about promoting the Manila Film Festival. That's actually how I found you. I went to the website. I'm like, okay, let me find her, and that's why. And I said, like, I'm a huge Sharon fan. For the record, okay, I'm a Dear Heart fan from way way back. So when I saw the trailer, and I think I messaged, or I think I posted and shared. I said I bawled. I said that was a Kleenex moment there by itself. So I didn't even know it was part of the Manila Film Festival until kind of like somebody reminded me. Oh, they're part. No, it was Jack Liu, because I messaged her. I want to interview her, and she's like, I don't think it's gonna come out on streaming because it's part of the film festival. That's where I said, like, okay, let me go on the website. That's how I found you. And then I guess my question goes back to um how would you encourage young actors to evolve as an actor? That don't just, like, we Filipinos are into this staying on the love team. I just noticed that. I mean, 42 years ago, you have a Gabby Sharon, a William Marcel, something, and we're still doing it today. And do you think our actors have evolved? Do you think the industry has evolved out of that?
I think we should carefully get out of the love teams and try other, acting roles, because dramatic roles and heavy, even comedy roles, just I think it's stunting the growth. It's stunting the growth. If you are always paired with someone, you should go out and just explore other roles for you. Like character roles, the ones that are, you may not be the leading lady, you may just be the supporting, but it's what we call marcado. It's marked,
Yes.
it's
Yes.
remembered, it's memorable, you won't be even unforgettable. So no
Yes.
matter how small your part is, take it seriously and do your best all the time in any part in the movie.
I think that's a good example. I mean, you have Jonathan Graff on Hamilton, who has an 8 minute what, role and still got nominated for a Tony. I think that's a very good example of it. Let me ask you about the Filipino actors that are thriving right now in the States, the Phil American. My favorite guy is Reggie Lee. I yeah, I found out about him on a TV show called All Rise, and
Actually,
I
my
yes,
God.
Reggie. Yes, Reggie Lee. Everybody calls him Kuya. So when I always message him Kuya, even though he doesn't even know I think I exist. But still, um, I love him. I mean, I've encountered. I guess I first watched him late back 2 years ago. A friend of mine is on a show called All Rise, and he was the DA. And I normally Google, okay, he's not white, he's not, my God, he's born in Quezon City. And, it's kind of like so nice and to see his IMDb that he has been here for a long
Yeah,
time. And he speaks very good Tagalog, I guess. And
yeah.
he's so grounded. How do you how do we get another Reggie Lee on television?
Well, first of all, Reggie is one of my favorite actors. I met him when he was just starting, and he's everywhere. He's from Grimm and everything, Lincoln Lawyer and All Rise, and he has evolved as an actor. And what's nice about Reggie is he really puts his heart into anything that he does, and he does it with class. And also, he's grounded, as you said, and he's very friendly, and fame doesn't go into his head. He's been in the industry for a long time, and that is the secret of staying long in the industry. Don't get success get into your head, and be grounded and humble all the time, and just do your best. And Reggie is like that, and he's one of the examples why he is very successful all these years, and he's one of the pioneer. And I'm sure he had a hard time breaking those barriers, breaking those doors, together with Tia Carrera, Lou Diamond Phillips, Dean Devlin, all these people who have started it. And I really throw my hat and salute them for what they have done, opening doors to the Filipino Americans.
What do you think are the challenges that Filipino American actors are now facing in the Hollywood industry?
Yeah, they are very lucky that somebody already broke some barriers for
Yeah,
them.
I
So,
guess so. Yes.
like Reggie and company. So it's gonna be easier. And I think all the Filipinos now are booming. Like, you see them on TV, you see them in films, in Hollywood films. A lot of even actresses from the Philippines making it into Hollywood. Take for example Dolly De Leon, who has like two or
Mhm.
three Hollywood movies, and she's also acting with Nicole Kidman, Jason Schwartzman, and everybody. So she has already broken in, and she's a member of the Academy now of SAG and all these things. So you just have to be patient. Some people have to go out to be recognized, go out of the Philippines to be understood, because it's a different kind of world out there. So you shouldn't
Right.
be, yeah, you shouldn't be, just confined to one place, and just broaden your horizon. Try to always get into classes to improve your acting. No matter
Yeah,
how established you are,
yeah,
even Meryl Streep practices her pronunciation or accent, all
that's
these
true.
things. And so just continual education is very important.
So, do you, you as an expert, I call you an expert because you've seen both, whether it's in the States and in the Philippines. You as an expert, if you are going to be given a chance, which I think you probably have, like a workshop on all of these professional actors that are based in the Philippines, have them in one room. What are the five things that you're gonna tell them to be able to go to the States? Going to the States is basically, you know, easy. You have an airfare ticket, have a visa, fly in and come in. But being able to penetrate, or I guess go through, break those the same doors that Reggie and company has done. What are the five things are you gonna tell them to be
I
able to succeed?
I think the first would be prepared to work hard, be prepared to be humble, be prepared to work with colleagues whom you don't like, or be prepared to be discriminated on, be
Yeah,
prepared to embrace Hollywood and what it has to offer.
I think that's a very good thing. I should tell my daughter that. Okay, but yeah, let's talk about the Metro Manila Film Festival. From what I have read, I think this is you said you are the founding member. Did it go
Of the Manila International Film
International
Festival.
Film Festival? Okay, what is it supposed to do? What is the goal of the Manila International Film Festival?
Yeah. Our goal is to spotlight and highlight all the movies that were shown at the Metro Manila International Film Festival. It's something that has never been done to showcase all these 10 movies in the Philippines, here in Hollywood, and probably beyond in the future. So we have, because most of the film festivals, they only showcase like Asian movies, Hollywood movies, but not concentrated on Philippine movies. And these are the top 10 films chosen already by the Metro Manila Film Festival. And they are coming to Los Angeles in the beginning, in the start. This is the inaugural Manila International Film Festival. So we want to share to all our US friends these films that the Filipinos are enjoying during Christmas time or New Year's, to enjoy them here in Los Angeles, which has never been done before. So this is something historic and epic. And I would like to call on all the Filipinos and even non-Filipinos to support the Manila International Film Festival, which is going to happen here in Los Angeles at the Chinese Theater and at the Directors Guild. And we're also going to have our own gala and awards. So even if they won already in the Philippines, we're going to have different sets of
Okay.
jurors here in Los Angeles, and they will be judged by these jurors.
How can someone watch it? How do we have to be in LA to see it? When is the date? I know you said inaugural. Do you have a date already?
Yeah, it's January 29 to February 2nd, and you can go on the website www.manila.internationalfilmfest.com for the schedules. And also, you can buy the tickets at Eventbrite, or you can just come to Los Angeles. We have tickets for everyone. It's only $25.
I'll talk to you later after we talk. I have plans now. I think I'm gonna go. So, do you we're talking about actors. What about members of the press that are Filipinos American? Have you encountered any them breaking through like red carpet? Because I was fortunate enough to be part of the press junket when this is very local in Hawaii Five-O in Waikiki. We have it for 10 years. I was a huge fan. I was able, CBS gave me that opportunity. It was the best thing that ever happened to me. And it created a lot of friendship and a lot of relationships, not just for the actors and and not just for my family and my friends. And we're still talking right now. How can a Filipino American who's in the business of telling a story, like you and me, be able to be a part of that very elite um, Hollywood, I guess, foreign press club, you're saying, that you are part of right now?
It's actually you apply. You can apply,
Yeah.
and then there is a committee that
Mhm.
chooses the members, and then they request you for your clippings or your videos or whatever. So to prove yourself that you're a legitimate journalist,
Right.
and that's it. They have to be voted on.
How was that a struggle for you? Was that challenging for you to get through that kind of process?
Yeah, it was a challenge because we are the first Filipino members. So
Mhm.
Ruben was the first one, and then I was the second one. So you have to establish your relationships as well. You have to
Mhm.
go to all the junkets so they be seen that they can recognize you there. So you have to establish yourself first before you can get in.
You were on your resume. You were an executive producer of the Golden Globes.
Yeah.
That was exciting. What does an executive producer for the Golden Globes do?
I was actually 4 times an officer of the Golden Globes, and
Okay.
I was a treasurer. I was a secretary, executive secretary. So as an officer, you are involved in all these things. So you get the title for 4 years. I got the title executive producer because of the 4 years that I've been involved in. So you're involved in seating, you're involved in ticketing, involved in red carpets, in everything else. Your hands are in every pie. So that's how you get the title. Yeah.
No, that was fun. That was I probably would have died just being in that kind of like, oh, okay, let's do this. And you're kind of like just nonchalant and say walk the red carpet and say like, "Hey, I'm a Filipino. Yes, I am here." Because I had that feeling when I first walked the Waikiki, the red carpet. I'm like, I'm really here, and I have a badge, and it feels so official. And yet, it was local. That's being attended by a lot of people, which is, I think, that's an opportunity for all of us who's been like a representation of our country, I guess. Because not everybody gets to do that.
It's interesting. I love covering the red carpet because I'm also always on the red carpet interviewing stars. But then I always wear Filipino designers' gowns. And because I want also to highlight and help the Filipino designers. In fact, I also made a book on the Filipino fashion and designers on the red carpet, which is called Fashion Filipino Hollywood the World. And when I interview some stars on the red carpet, what's interesting is the stars will say, Janet, who are you wearing? Instead of me asking them, they already ask me. They admire my gowns, and I'm always proud to introduce them to the Filipino fashion designers if they are with me on the red carpet, or one of my guests. So I'm glad that I did that because I also want to help our Filipino fashion designers.
Let's talk about your book since you started it. Other than the fashion, what does it talk about?
Oh yeah, at first I want to show you my book.
And
This, I don't know if you can see. That's my
I'm
book.
gonna I'm gonna have a picture and have it when I post it online.
It's hardcover right now. The one that I show is hardcover coffee table book. It's my first coffee table, which I did during the pandemic. I did it for 4 months. I finished it, and then now it's in Amazon.com as a paper bound edition. I highlighted a lot of the Filipino fashion designers who are always working on the red carpet. Michael Cinco, Ezra Santos, Fern Amato, Oliver Tolentino, Alan Del Rosario, who else? David Tupas, Kenneth Barlis, R.C. Kailan, Francis Libiran, and others. And I also featured the actresses that I have interviewed all these years on the red carpet. So when you see the book, like a feature, for instance, of Haley Steinfeld, and then an excerpt of my interview with her, or picture of Lady Gaga and my excerpt of an
interview.
interview with her, picture of Angelina Jolie and my excerpt of my interviews for her. So it's a combination, and most of the photos were taken by Stanley Mirador, who's my friend and always my colleague and on in the industry, and he's always
Yes.
also covering for the red carpet. So these are some of the things that you will find in the book. And that's I'm passionate also about fashion. That's why I made the book.
What is your favorite interview?
My favorite interview would be about Meryl Streep because she's so down to earth. When you're interviewing her, she's actually thinking of, oh, what am I gonna cook for dinner? Or my daughter forgot her passport and I'm worried, and my husband forgot my anniversary. That kind of stuff. She's very grounded, and I love her for that. And also George Clooney, because when you talk to George, he's always focused on you. He's not distracted by other people around him. He spends time talking to you and really is involved in the conversation. And I really like that about George. Mhm.
Do you think our Filipino actors can learn something about American actors as far as, I guess, not just being successful, but being like being a person? That they can like. I'm not saying copying or what, but at least have that as a goal that we've been talking about being grounded, you know because I know fame tends to kind of like get into your head, but then you see all of these established actors over the years, their staying power is almost every time being grounded. It doesn't change them. So how much do you think we Filipinos, we look up to our older actors? Like, I just saw Gloria Romero's 99th birthday, and they've been there forever. I had an opportunity to meet Charito Solis. They filmed in my house back in the 80s, and it was the film Ulan ng Gapo. Ruel Santiago was there, Rudy Fernandez was there. One thing that really struck me with Charito was asking, told me, you can call me Tita. So I had Tita then, and she cooked, I think, on the final filming day. It was a night shoot. She goes to my mom and she goes like, do not worry about dinner. I will cook. And she cooked adobo for us. And, just for the entire thing. And I think that is very, not just humbling, but is very impressive in saying that, hey, this is an award winning actress cooking in my freaking kitchen, And it was a big thing for my mom. So, what lesson do you think the younger generation of actors should learn from the older, or I guess the veteran, that can help them stay and have a staying power?
Yeah, as you notice, most of the actors that you have interviewed and I have interviewed here in Hollywood, their staying power lies on their being humble, they're being grounded, having fame not go into their heads, and
Mhm.
being courteous and cordial to their fans as well. And not because I notice some of the actors that are starting are more, big headed, but the ones who have staying power are still so sweet, so accommodating, and they should learn from these big time actors already. They've been in the industry for ages, for years, and this is the reason why they are, because of their humility and not putting fame into their heads.
I think that's a very good, how do you call this? Something that people has to listen to you because you've been there a long time. And I think we should learn from people who have been around actors from all generations. And I think you being there can help guide them. And I hope, people should see that. And I am so glad that we have a Filipino, both you and your husband, representing us in Hollywood because we are so sometimes obsessed. Like I freak out when I see like Reggie on television, and I was like, he's Filipino, and I would freak out when I see my friends on Chicago Med. Like I would really screenshot them on television and like, hey, that's my friend, and they're Filipino. And I think we should have a lot of those and a lot of you guiding them. And I think I'm I am just privileged right now over my top. 20 minutes before I interviewed you, I was pacing the floor and I said, like, I'm freaking out right now. I am really freaking out right now. And I was telling my husband, I said, like, okay, I need to breathe. You be quiet because this is important to me. And I said, like, and I am really, really privileged right now. You made my year start better, Miss
Well,
Janet.
you have to come to the Manila International Film Festival because Reggie Lee will be there.
Okay, let's stop right after. Let's ask the Golden Globes. How did the Jokoy hosting happen? How did
Yeah.
that come?
Well, actually, Ruben and I watched him first time in the CinemaCon. He was
Mhm.
promoting Easter Sunday. He went on stage, he blew the crowd, and he was very fantastic. He really, really showed how what Filipino talent will be. And Ruben and I were thinking, oh my God, he can be a good host. And then even
Right.
Steve Carell followed him, and Steve Carell said that was a hard act to follow. So we were so proud of Jokoy. We suggested him to the board that please put him in the bucket that whoever as one of the to consider as one of the hosts. But unfortunately, last year they considered somebody else. And so this year, we're so happy that he was considered, and we're proud to say that he is the first Filipino American to host a major award show and to host the Golden Globes after its 81 years in the industry. So we're proud of Jokoy, and I can't wait to see what he's gonna do.
Are you guys gonna give out handout balut for the audience? That'll be interesting. So
We don't
are
know.
you are you gonna have like a Filipino theme in the Golden Globe?
We don't know.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna zip, and that's like nothing. You cannot ask about that. Any parting words, Miss Janet, for our, I guess, for the actors, and anything we should know that we should look forward to the International Film Festival that are going to happen in January. What can we look forward with the Filipino community in this industry in all?
Yes, first of all, I want all the actors to listen, to follow their dreams, and to pursue what they're passionate about. And also to the aspiring actors, actresses, and even journalists, women journalists, follow your dreams. And the second one would be I invite you to join us on January 29 to February 2nd for the Manila International Film Festival. It's a historic moment for all Filipinos, and we will be proud to showcase our own Filipino films here in Hollywood. So please join us.
Thank you, Miss Janet. I do appreciate your time, and greetings to you from Chicago, from cold Chicago. Enjoy the warm weather in LA. We're jealous. So, and I look forward to talk to you again. Maybe we can talk during your the film festival. Be in
Yes,
the red carpet with
come,
me.
come.
Well, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Miss Janet.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Amy.